been filed against noted psephologist from the Center for the Study of Developing Societies, Sanjay Kumar. He has come out and apologized. He spoke to me last night right here on NDTV. He retracted and said that he regretted the errors in the data that he had put out to support the entire vote rigging narrative that has been put by Rahul Gandhi and others. He admitted to misreading data, but now he has been booked by the police in Maharashtra. It's the first of possibly many cases against him at this time. And it comes after a day of election panels in different parts of the country warning about the data that was put out by him. Ashwin Singh is live with me. Ashwin, an FIR has been lodged by the Nashik police against Sanjay Kumar. Tell me.
Yes, now Nagpur police and Nashik police both has filed a case against CSDF Sanjay Kumar. Sanjay Kumar has tweeted last week that there are discrepancies in Maharashtra's data, and he has pointed out that more than 2 lakh, 3 lakh per constituency there was an addition in voter data. But later on he has realized that the data which is shared by Sanjay Kumar is wrong, and he admitted that the data shared by him is wrong. The most important thing is that the Congress party has used the same data. Rahul Gandhi and other leaders have used the CSDF data to a kind of misinformation spreaded against Election Commission, saying that more than 40 lakh electors has increased in Maharashtra election, and Rahul Gandhi has called a vote chori against citizens of Maharashtra and has said that Election Commission is doing vote chori. And based on the CSDF data, the Congress party and Rahul Gandhi has questioned the Election Commission, the integrity of the Election Commission. And now we have seen that from like Maharashtra, many places there are FIR registered against CSDF co-founder Sanjay Kumar.
Ashwin, thanks very much for that. We'll try and get a reaction from Sanjay Kumar, who, as I said, was on our show last night at this particular time. We'll try and update that story for you. Thanks, Ashwin, for the moment. A bill that enables the removal of prime ministers, chief ministers and other senior public representatives if they spend 30 consecutive days in jail for offences punishable with 5 years or more. Isn't that exactly how it should be in our country since we've suffered corruption for so long? Does any part of what I've just said sound wrong to you? Well, yes, according to all the leading lights of India's vibrant opposition, from the Gandhi siblings to Asaduddin Owaisi to stalwarts of Mamata Banerjee's party and beyond. They say the bill is rape of the Constitution. Now, let's examine this a little closely because this is a story that involves us all. But first, let's not kid ourselves. The outrage against the corrupt Netas bill that was tabled today in Parliament isn't about protecting democracy or the Constitution. It's about, in my view, protecting the status quo, the political rot that has become the lubricant of Indian politics since independence. For decades, while bureaucrats and civil servants have faced automatic suspension, even on arrest, IAS and IAS officers deemed suspended if they spend more than 48 hours in custody, and rightly so. Our Netas have written themselves a parallel rule book, one where you can sit in jail facing grave charges and still cling to the perks of power. Now, this double standard has been the single biggest poison in public life, in my view, and the opposition wants it to continue. The proposed bill simply ends that absurd privilege. If a prime minister or a chief minister or a minister spends 30 consecutive days in jail for offences punishable with 5 years or more, they lose their chair. And yet everyone is howling in the opposition. Rahul Gandhi and Priyanka Gandhi are calling it draconian. No surprise there. Rahul Gandhi is often seen venerating Lalu Prasad Yadav, that patron saint of corruption in Indian politics, the OG victim of a Congress-backed law once upon a time that disqualified convicted MPs. Remember that? Is that the Gandhi's true commitment to anti-corruption reform? Cheer it when it hits their rivals and junk it when it threatens their friends? Today, leaders shamelessly cling on in office until the court rips the chair from beneath them. Arvind Kejriwal sat in jail for 6 months, blasted by both the Supreme Court and Delhi High Court, called out for concealing proceeds of crime and yet refused to resign. Hemant Soren had to be escorted by the ED to Raj Bhavan to finally hand in his resignation. The DMK's Senthil Balaji coolly ran his ministry from prison until the Supreme Court called it dishonesty. This is not political accountability. It's political brazenness into which poison has been allowed to seep for decades now. Once upon a time, there was Om Prakash Chautala, A. Raja, even Lalu, who resigned when cornered, not out of nobility, but because public opinion and shame still meant something. Now that is gone. Today's political class has no shame left to lose, which is why this bill is said to be necessary, and I believe it is so. So when you see opposition leaders scream about constitutional propriety, about how this is becoming a Gestapo state, remember, they aren't defending the Constitution. They're defending their last line of impunity on some silly technicality when they should be seen to be supporting something that seeks to bring an end to political corruption. They are spooked because they know this bill doesn't just target motivated charges, it targets their comfort zone of zero consequences. They can cry all their lungs out and say, this is about vendetta, this is about score settling, this is about washing machine. But the nation sees them standing against a reform on corruption. And for a class of politicians that has fattened itself on corruption and escape routes, that is the ultimate nightmare. Should any such bill have guardrails to ensure no misuse? Well, what else is the judiciary for? Or has the opposition decided to make its policy that it does not trust India's judicial system as a whole? The bottom line tonight, the loudest cries against this new law, the corrupt Netas law, come from those with the most to fear, in my opinion. And that tells you everything you need to know. Now, let's tell you a little bit more about what this bill really is. It means that tainted Netas, whether you're the Prime Minister, whether you're a Chief Minister of any state, or the leader of a union territory, you will be out of office if you are jailed for 30 days. Let's tell you what it is. It's a bill to amend the Constitution for removal of tainted elected officials. Who will be affected? Prime Minister, Chief Ministers, Union Ministers, and Ministers of Union Territories. Arrest and detention for 30 consecutive days is what will trigger your automatic removal, punishable with 5+ years in jail. Now, what happens after the 30 days? Resignation. Mandatory on day 31 or automatic removal from your post. Can the accused Netas return? They can indeed be reappointed after release, subject to approval by the appointing authorities. Now, why this bill? To prevent leaders jailed from continuing in office, because the Indian public and all political morality really flies in the face of what this country has seen for the last many years and decades. What's different? Current law removes only after conviction. This bill acts at the arrest stage itself and gives a period of 30 days for that action to actually kick in. Let's go across to our panel of guests tonight to talk about the corrupt Netas bill, the big outrage from the opposition ranks, and how the government has defended this as the right thing to do and a bill whose time has come. Dr. Anand Ranganathan, scientist, best-selling author. Sanjay Jha, political analyst, supports the Congress. Charu Pragya, spokesperson for the BJP. Dr. Ranganathan, for you first. Gestapo state, another tool for vendetta, another instrument for washing machine and score settling, says the opposition. What do you think?
Good evening, Shiv, and good evening to my fellow panelists. There are two issues out here, in fact, and both merit going into. But first, let me read out verbatim the 130th Amendment for your viewers, the so-called corrupt Neta bill. Quote, a minister who for any period of 30 consecutive days during holding the office as such is arrested and detained in custody on allegation of committing an offence under any law for the time being in force, which is punishable with imprisonment for a term which may exceed of 5 years or more, shall be removed from his office by the President on the advice of the Prime Minister, to be tendered by the 31st day after being taken in such custody, unquote. The key phrase, Shiv, in this word salad is allegation of committing an offence. Shiv, much as it may sound troubling to many, I have to say this. E incumbet probatio qui decet non qui neget. A man is innocent until proven guilty. That is the bedrock on which our entire justice system stands. You may not vote for a politician, you may not like to see him become a minister, but if you believe in the concept of justice, you cannot proclaim him guilty. Only a judge can do it. The role of a state is not only to make the criminal repent and reform, but also to make sure only the guilty are punished. The so-called Blackstone ratio, Articles 14, 38, 39, 21 make right of defense a fundamental right, and not just for an Indian citizen. It was a proud moment for us when that monster Kasab was given legal defense. But today, it appears that being called and accused is enough to be proclaimed guilty, because removal from one's office is a type of punishment, like it or not. Look, 31% of our current sitting Lok Sabha MPs face serious criminal charges. 32% of our sitting chief ministers face serious criminal charges. Unless the state set up tens of separate courts and judicial mechanisms to hear cases that pertain only to politicians and public servants, unless these cases are admitted, heard and disposed within 6 months, we cannot hope for a better future for this country. Now, point number 2, equally important. And here, please allow me to expose the hypocrisy of our politician. Shiv, not a day goes by when politicians and political parties cutting across ideologies and ruling dispensations demand the resignation of fellow politicians on whom charges of corruption or impropriety have been leveled, but who haven't been proclaimed guilty in a court of law. Thousands of such cases. Is it not a fact that the Congress demanded Chief Minister Kejriwal's resignation over liquor scam, even though he has not been proven guilty in a court of law? Not just Kejriwal. Congress demanded resignation of Gujarat Chief Minister Bhupendra Patel over bridge corruption, of Kerala Chief Minister Pinarayi Vijayan over CMRL case, of Karnataka Chief Minister B.S. Yediyurappa over CD corruption allegation. So why are they protesting? If such demands of theirs is consecrated in law, albeit with riders as guardrails, as you said, more protective than what they wished. Is it not a fact, just 30 seconds, that the same Congress demanded resignation of these chief ministers because it claimed, not without reason it has to be said, that they remaining in topmost positions will influence the case, coerce witnesses, destroy evidence and try and derail the investigation process? This is rank hypocrisy that they are opposing this now. That if you want morality and propriety in politics, but only when it suits you.
So this is selective outrage. Sanjay Jha, how would you respond to Anand? He says, the innocent until proven guilty principle most definitely applies. That worries him in the light of this criminal Netas bill. But the Congress's outrage is purely hypocrisy here.
Shiv, good evening to you and to Charu and Anand. And he's spoken for 3 minutes. I expect that you'll reciprocate that gesture towards me as well. Number one, I think the current Modi government is the most corrupt and criminal in our entire parliamentary and political history. After having said that, let me get down to facts. And I would like to probably tell this to Mr. Amit Shah through your very popular show, Shiv. Amit Shah ji se main guzarish karunga. I'm sure he will watch the program later during the evening. That why doesn't he take action against 94 elected members of parliament who belong to the BJP, which comprise of the 39% of the BJP MPs today, ladies and gentlemen, who are watching this program. Just see the hypocrisy of Mr. Amit Shah and the BJP. 39% of their MPs in parliament today are people who are facing criminal charges, and the Bharatiya Janata Party gave them the ticket knowing that fully. So I would request Mr. Amit Shah, kindly take action against them right away. Don't hide under the guard कि this bill is coming prospectively, because if we want to cleanse Indian politics, you have to do it from the very core foundation. Shah साहब, आपसे ये गुजारिश है, इस पर जरा कानूनी कार्रवाई कल ही से शुरू कर दें आप. My second point is even more serious, Shiv. Look at data. I don't want to get into hyperbole and dramabazi. Let's look at data. 63 out of the 241 MPs, Shiv, this is a very important data. They have serious criminal charges declared in an affidavit. And you know what the serious criminal charges are? These are people who are sitting in that sacrosanct house where I can see Mr. Amit Shah speaking right now on your program. Guess what the serious criminal charges are? 1, rape. 2, murder. 3, attempt to murder. 4th, kidnapping. 5th, crime against women. These are the people who Mr. Amit Shah and Mr. Modi have sheltered in the BJP, who go thup, 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 thup on parliament when they make their speeches. But now my second important point. What did the Supreme Court say about the ED, Shiv? Because the ED is the instrument of political vendetta. which has targeted the opposition leaders, which is why they are complaining today. It is not a hollow complaint. It's a very serious issue. Look at that. Look at what the Supreme Court said to the ED. One, why are you waging a political battle on behalf of X? It's the Supreme Court openly telling the Enforcement Directorate that you are fighting a political battle against the opposition. 95% of the leaders targeted by the ED CBI, ladies and gentlemen watching this program on NDTV, is the opposition.
Okay.
And what is the ED's conviction rate? 0.1%. 0.1%. So it's pretty obvious what the ED is doing.
Sanjay, your 3 minutes are done.
My last point.
I'm always very fair with my guests.
The Supreme Court tells the ED, my last point. The Supreme Court tells the ED, look at the language the Supreme Court has to use. Stop acting like a crook. I don't need to say more.
Okay, go ahead and respond, Charu.
Thank you, Shiv. Good evening, everyone. Good evening to my fellow panelists, all our viewers, and Shiv, 3 minutes for me too. Now, the premise of the arguments put forth by both Anandji and Sanjayji, both of whom I respect immensely, is completely wrong, because the fact is, who can keep a Neta in custody for 30 days? Is it political vendetta or is it judicial process? It's judicial process. So if the police is arresting someone, even to detain them temporarily, they must get permission from the magistrate for 30 days, whether it is police custody or judicial custody. Again, the permission should come from the courts. So the bottom line of this entire bill is that if our judicial process finds a fault in the way you've been conducting yourself, that is when a Neta can be detained for 30 days or more. This is the premise that I want to highlight, that the entire opposition is completely missing out on. And this makes this process reasonable. You can defend yourself, but you cannot use power to shield yourself from responsibility, which a lot of Netas have been doing. Let me also use some examples right now, Shiv. Let's take the most recent examples. First of Hemant Soren, Chief Minister of Jharkhand, and then Arvind Kejriwal, then Chief Minister of Delhi. Hemant Soren decided to resign, went behind bars, came back, contested elections, is Chief Minister again today. Arvind Kejriwal was arrested, went behind bars, refused to resign. What did the courts do to protect the citizens of Delhi? They barred him from entering the Chief Minister's office. They made sure safeguards were put in place so that one powerful Neta could not tamper with evidence, could not scare the witnesses away, and could not make the entire judicial process a scam, because the person who is the chief accused is sitting outside and influencing the entire investigation. And I think this is a very, I'm saying this again, reasonable bill. Because if there are allegations against a civil servant, he has to step aside for fair investigation. If there are allegations, even in a corporate, while that is being investigated, the officer has to step aside. Why shouldn't political leaders be held to the same standards of integrity? And who's got a reasonable explanations as to why you must be shielded from accountability only because you're sitting in a position of power? You can't use that chair to shield yourself from wrongdoings. 5 years of punishment is severe. It is a lot.
Anand, you can answer that. You can jump in on that. But also, I wanted to just add one small bit. You know, I have
provisions for safeguarding. Shiv, I don't know if my 3 minutes are over.
Your 3 minutes are over, but I completely agree. I have to agree vehemently with one thing that Charu said, which is that in this case, the judiciary and the judicial system is the guardrail. So, you know, what is everyone saying Gestapo about? Anand's point about innocent until proven guilty, I think holds very well, but in this case, the judicial system is the guardrail. Having said that, I have no intention of being frivolous. It's a dead serious issue. But, you know, in this age of narratives, Anand, I have a feeling it is not so much about arresting prime ministers and chief ministers. It's about laying a trap. Why does it feel like the opposition has walked into a trap and all of them are looking like they're against this very lofty sounding, anti-corruption bill that seeks to, in a theoretical sort of world, lock up prime ministers and chief ministers? You can answer, Charu, and also that, Anand.
No, very rightly said, Shiv. But, you know, a couple of points out here. Number one, the fact of the matter is, as I said, Congress needs to answer when it has demanded the resignation of the opposition party chief ministers at the drop of a hat. why is he objecting to this very law where, as you said, the guardrails are there that the Congress didn't even use the guardrails. So there is hypocrisy there. Congress has to answer, and my good friend Sanjay completely, went tangential, did not answer that fact. Number two, as far as the ED is concerned, may I please draw your attention to the 2022 Supreme Court case where the so-called draconian provisions of ED were looked at by the Supreme Court three-judge bench, and they actually found that they were absolutely bona fide. And number two, the conviction rate of ED in PMLA cases where the cases have been heard and finalized is 98%.
Yeah.
It is not the problem of ED. If those cases are languishing in the courts, that is the problem of the judiciary. Now, number three, what Charu says, as I said, I've already mentioned it, because politicians like to say that, look, we must be upholding morality and ethics. So yes, this consecration in law just helps that out. But the fact is, even if there is a judicial process ongoing, that judicial process has not proclaimed the man guilty, and he is being punished for it. For example, I asked Charuji, point blank question, was A. Raja corrupt? Charuji?
So, may I answer, please?
Yeah.
Please answer,
He's asking
yes or
you
no.
straight.
Yeah. So, Anandji, I was about to expand on what you have just said. There are safeguards in this particular bill which are going to protect the innocent. One, you can be reinstated. If the courts find you not guilty, if you're out, then you can be reinstated.
After 10 years, your life is gone.
No, let me continue. The second thing is that this has been now sent to the Joint Parliamentary Committee. If there are any loopholes that need to be ironed out, I am very sure politicians from across party lines are going to sit together and iron it out. But what is the bottom line that all of us should be focusing on? Cleaning up politics. Because we are equal to the other citizens. We do not become special just because the people of our country have elected us and sent us to Parliament or to the Assembly. And this is exactly what this bill is re-establishing. I will come back to using examples of Arvind Kejriwal. Please tell me, what did he achieve being the Chief Minister of Delhi when he was behind bars? He had to appoint another person to look after the city in their day-to-day affairs. He had to sit out important events, and the people of Delhi decided that the allegations were so serious that he should not be elected back. And I'll use two examples, both different, both extreme, and both with different opposite outcomes.
Sanjay, Anand says you diverted from his direct question about the Congress constantly asking for resignations, and therefore, why do you have a problem with this? But also, sticking with the perception issue, it does seem like, for Rahul Gandhi especially, someone who, famously tore up an ordinance as far as, reversing a decision by the Supreme Court on corrupt Netas and corrupt MPs, to go from that to call this particular move draconian, seems to be hiding behind constitutional technicalities when he has this overarching sort of anti-corruption crusade persona, and it just looks bad in that sense as well. But go ahead and answer that question, Sanjay.
Yeah. Shiv, in terms of whether I'm diverting or digressing, let the viewers decide who's saying what and who's being more relevant and true, right? Let the viewers judge. They are watching all of us speak right now, and they are watching all of us very, very closely. Now, here is my point. First, a fact check. Rahul Gandhi did not tear the ordinance. He basically demonstrated what the tearing could be. He never tore the ordinance. But here is the important point.
It should be torn up, correct.
Yeah. Here is the important point. And I'm going to quote you. I'm only arguing on your program on facts because rhetoric is boring. I leave that to Narendra Modi to do. Basically arrested illegally for no reason. That is what the Mumbai court actually said about the ED in the Sanjay Raut case. Can you imagine? I mean, I have quoted more examples already. Let me tell you one thing, Shiv. People cannot, at the end of the day, be taken for granted. You are right. You hit the nail on the head. Narendra Modi and Amit Shah are basically trying to legitimize the most, I would say, devious, diabolical, and in my opinion, disgusting operational trick in politics called Operation Lotus, which has been used to harass people and destabilize governments. I can tell you for a fact that Mr. Amit Shah, it is such an irony, right? I can see him on your program, waxing eloquent, sounding so sanctimonious. But I would like to tell Amit Shah ji, do not believe that the people of this country can be taken for granted all the time. Shiv, remember demonetization? When Narendra Modi came and said after midnight all our currencies are invalid and the black money will be exposed, nothing was exposed in India. And as we all know by data, the Swiss bank amounts have actually gone up since Mr. Modi became Prime Minister. So people can see through this game entirely. I want to make one last point before I think you can go back to Anand or to Charu, that end of day, I think in Indian democracy, if you are going to now tell politicians, and they can be to the BJP as well, tomorrow we could be in power and probably will be. Will Charu Pragya like it if her leaders are arrested on some flimsy ground without a trial, without a charge sheet, and then they are disqualified or made to resign? I mean, that is absurd. Shiv, can you imagine if tomorrow for some reason somebody makes an accusation against you saying that you're the NDTV's editor and you said something which they believe is, pretty mala fide, and then you are actually arrested and you lose your job when you actually could be absolutely innocent. I don't think we can really reduce Indian democracy to become a political instrument of harassment in the hands of an authoritarian and, may I add, a government that is becoming fascist.
Charu, reply and then I'll give the last word to Anand.
Thank you. See, we have to shield power from misuse. And I'm going to stick to that. Leadership must be pillars of trust, not loopholes for impunity. And by objecting to a bill like this, the opposition is basically painting all our institutions, all our authorities with the colors of distrust. Because here you stand and say you don't trust any magistrate, you do not believe in the appeal system, you obviously don't trust the ED or the CBI. Please tell me, what do you trust? The buck has to stop somewhere, right? And I will say this again, political vendetta can hold no one in jail for 30 days. It is always going to be the courts that take that stand. And suppose a magistrate even passes an order against you, you've got opportunities to go into appeal. Sanjay sir, why isn't this advised? Why don't they go into appeal? And if the higher courts also believe that this particular leader must remain behind bars, then who can say that
Charu, you should listen to what the Supreme Court had to talk about the lower courts in India. And that is where the problem is. Even the Supreme Court knows that.
No, sir. I agree with what the Supreme Court is saying, but I also agree the lower courts are there in place for a reason. So why don't you just escalate the process and go to the Supreme Court faster?
Okay. I've got 2 minutes left. Anand, closing comments from you. Final word.
No, thank you, Shiv. There is a reason why I believe that law should be included in the STEM subjects, because it's completely unemotional. It does not care about what your emotions would be. It is thoroughly objective. Now, both my lovely friends refuse to answer simple questions that I posed to them. To Sanjay, I posed, was Congress wrong when at the drop of a hat it demands resignation of all the sitting chief ministers, even though they have not been proclaimed guilty, even though they have not had the guardrails that this law provides? And Charu refused to answer the question, why was A. Raja punished for 5 years when in the end he was proclaimed innocent? Who suffered? Was it not A. Raja who suffered?
Can I quickly answer that, Shiv?
Yeah. We've got some time.
Yeah, you remember Rajnath Singh famously said that in our government, no one will ever resign. I remember 2014 when Mr. Modi became Prime Minister. I can rattle to you right now the names of the Congress leaders who quit. And the best example is somebody who these days the BJP seems to love, Shashi Tharoor. An allegation against him on an IPL team. Shashi lost his job in the as a Minister of State for External Affairs. I remember, people resigned. Vilas Rao Deshmukh resigned. Ashok Chavan resigned. People resigned left, right, and center under the BJP. Absolutely no show at all. Anand, to answer your question, the Congress actually, in my opinion, I have been part of the Congress for a long time, so trust me on that. The Congress party, for all the faults you may find in it, has been much more transparent and much more of abiding to a public perception than the BJP has ever been. And I can tell you that the electoral bond scheme, probably the most corrupt scheme in this country, we saw mafia, extortion, and political exploitation, has been unchallenged.
Charu, Sanjay says the Congress has been hard enough on itself and has taken all those examples, says the BJP is no one to preach. How would you reply to that?
Well, the Congress seems to have a tongue-in-cheek humor because its tallest leaders are out on bail even right now. Rahul Gandhi is facing several charges where he was nearly sent out of parliament for a long term. And the court
12 years, huh? 12 years, Shiv.
So you have to see that Congress ran this country like a
12
private
years.
company. That's not how it's going to be in the future. And like I said, please don't paint all our institutions and all our authorities with the color of
Shiv, an interesting example.
and
give me 15 seconds.
Political vendetta.
Out of time.
Shiv, just one point.
Quickly,
The
Sanjay,
BJP,
quickly.
Just one point, yeah. The BJP, which went after Robert Vadra, took a 150 crore donation from DLF on its electoral bonds for the BJP, and the case was closed. I don't need to say more.
Okay, I'm out of time, but it's clear that the bill is going to, trigger many more fights going forward. It's not a reality yet. We'll see what happens in Parliament tomorrow as well. Sanjay, Anand and Charu, always a pleasure. Thank you very much for being with me on debate number 1 on India Matters. And now the government has just dropped the Promotion and Regulation of Online Gaming Bill 2025, and it is nothing short of a sledgehammer. If you're an online gamer, if you're involved in online gaming in any way, today is a really, really big day, so pay attention. At its heart, this new bill by the government bans all forms of real money online gaming, whether based on skill, chance or both, with jail terms of up to 3 years and fines of up to 5 crore rupees for those running or facilitating such platforms. Now, this is a huge blow to Indian gaming giants like Winzo, Dream 11, My 11 Circle, MPL, 99 Games, Games 24/7, Pokerbazi, etc. Now, advertisers aren't spared either, but it also promotes esports as a legitimate competitive sport, promising training academies and incentives, educational games aligned with Indian values and that kind of thing. In short, this bill bans the money games but blesses the mind games. Now, the opposition and the gaming industry are throwing up 5 big questions that I want to reflect tonight. First, is a blanket ban overkill? This is an industry worth nearly $4 billion, employing lakhs, contributing thousands of crores in GST annually. A ban, they argue, risks wiping out jobs, startups, and India's shot at global gaming leadership. Now, the government's answer is society's welfare comes first, because addiction, family distress, and even suicides linked to money games cannot be ignored. Second, why not regulate instead of prohibit? The fear is players will simply shift to offshore, unregulated platforms or even the dark web. Other countries might benefit as well. The government insists its new gaming authority will provide oversight and that players themselves won't be criminalized, only operators will. Question number 3, is this being rushed without consultation? Opposition MPs have called the bill knee-jerk, but the government says that the risks are urgent: fraud, money laundering, even terror financing, and delay is simply not an option. Number 4, won't banning the very formats that make up most of the industry's revenue undercut India's own digital growth story? The government says it is actually clearing the ground for safe innovation through esports and social games. And finally, on the national security angle, which is very important, critics say prohibition drives the activity underground, the dark web, but the government insists real money platforms are already being misused for financial crime and need to be stamped out decisively. So in the end, what we have is a law that says it protects families and national security on paper, but potentially dismantles a booming digital economy. That's something that the government says will not happen because it is a planned process. The government calls it balance. The industry calls it an existential crisis. The real game, as always, is now set to play out in Parliament. We're taking a very quick break. Coming up on the other side, in a shocking breach of security, Delhi Chief Minister Rekha Gupta was slapped, her hair pulled. She was pushed to the ground by a mystery attacker at a Jan Sabha. We'll tell you exactly what happened.
Hello, Moto.
Moto G96 5G. All eyes on you.
He's a soldier, you are a soldier, and this is war.
When the world rages, a soldier stands firm and focused on his mission, just like Finesta Windows is engineered to keep out noise, dust and rain.
Switch to Finesta Windows. Don't forget to watch War 2 from 14th of August.
जब मुंबई से वापस कोल्हापुर शिफ्ट हुआ तो सबने कहा कि ड्रीम सिटी को छोड़ रहा है। ड्रीम सिटी तो मैंने कहा ड्रीम में तो यही गलियां आती हैं। तो जब ये रियलाइज़ हुआ कि कुछ बड़ा करने के लिए बड़े शहर में रहने की ज़रूरत नहीं है, तब लगा कि लाइफ में ग्रो किया। कशित आई ऐसे बॉय मिलते मुंबई में, चांस ही नहीं।
SIP करो, इन्वेस्ट करो, लाइफ में ग्रो करो।
प्रतिभूति बाजार में निवेश बाजार जोखिमों के अधीन है। निवेश करने से पहले सभी संबंधित दस्तावेजों को ध्यान से पढ़ें।
तू ही तो है जिसकी सच्चाई वाली क्लैरिटी की वजह से मैं आज यहाँ हूँ।
गोल्ड प्लस सिल्वॉक्सी मिरर्स, ऐसी क्लैरिटी कि आपको सिर्फ सच नजर आए, चाहे कितने भी साल बीत जाएं।
फिनेस्टा विंडोज, ब्यूटीफुल एंड ड्यूरेबल डिजाइन्स, इंस्टॉलेशन से मेंटेनेंस की लाइफ लॉन्ग कस्टमर सर्विस। आपके घर में फिनेस्टा नहीं है तो कॉल कीजिए।
Fine, finer, Finesta.
If it matters to you, if it matters to you, if it matters to you, it matters to India, it matters to India, and it matters to me, and it matters to me. In a truly shocking breach of security, the Chief Minister of India's capital, Delhi, Rekha Gupta, if you can believe it, viewer, was slapped, her hair pulled, she was pushed to the ground, she was brutally physically assaulted by a man who attended her Jan Sabha, the public meeting that the Chief Minister holds every few days in the national capital. Who is this man? We don't really know because there were so many theories about why he assaulted her after initially wrecking the place where he was attacker. This is him. He came all the way from Gujarat to mount this attack. But why did he do it? His mother says he's a dog lover who was angry about Supreme Court order and Chief Minister Rekha's intention to clear Delhi of street dogs and stray dogs. Was that really the reason? Watch this.
It was supposed to be a regular Jan Sabha of the Delhi Chief Minister at her camp office in Civil Lines. When around 8:20 am, a man attacked Rekha Gupta. The accused, now identified as Rajesh Sakriya from Rajkot, Gujarat, posed as a complainant. He first slapped the Chief Minister, then lunged at her and pushed her. The attacker then pulled her hair. Cops at the spot then scrambled to nab the attacker.
ये उस वक्त थी आप जब जन सुनवाई में आपके भी बाल खींचे उसने?
जी। हाँ, दीदी थोड़ा सा नीचे झुकी हुई थी, हमारी मुख्यमंत्री जी। तो हम एकदम देखा कौन है ऐसा, शौक लगा हमें, जाके हमने फिर उसको छटवाया है। तो जैसे हमने दीदी को उसको पकड़ा है तो उसने मेरे बाल पकड़ लिए। कुछ नहीं बोल रहा था, साजिश लग रही है क्या था, कुछ नहीं बोल रहा था। वो हमें उसको मतलब थोड़ा बहुत पिटाई, वो छटवाया, वो भी करा, बट उसने कुछ भी नहीं बोला उस टाइम।
माननीय मुख्यमंत्री जी के ऊपर जन सुनवाई के दौरान जो हमला किया गया, मैं इसकी कड़े शब्दों में निंदा करता हूं। यही विरोधियों की साजिशें हैं। उनसे ये बर्दाश्त नहीं होता कि एक मुख्यमंत्री कितने घंटे पब्लिक के बीच में रहता है। यही कारण है कि इसके पीछे कोई राजनीतिक साजिश की बू आ रही है। जल्द ही दिल्ली पुलिस इसकी इन्वेस्टिगेशन कर रही है, सारे तथ्य सामने आएंगे।
मैं भारतीय जनता पार्टी को ये कहना चाहता हूं कि आज हम लोग बड़े दिल से आपका साथ दे रहे हैं, क्योंकि हम लोग ये नहीं सोचते कि हमला भारतीय जनता पार्टी पे हुआ या कांग्रेस पे हुआ या हम पे हुआ। इन प्रिंसिपल वायलेंस गलत है और हम और तमाम पार्टियों को इसकी निंदा करनी चाहिए और इसके अंदर कहीं पे भी उस अटैक को जस्टिफाई करने की कोशिश नहीं करनी चाहिए।
CCTV footage accessed by NDTV shows Rajesh conducting a recce of the Chief Minister's Shalimar Bagh residence. His mother claims Rajesh is a dog lover and was allegedly upset with the top court's order to send stray dogs to shelters.
रिक्शा अलग है रिक्शा अलग है यार क्या रे उज्जैन करे दिल्ली जाओ सो पापा के दिन के दी आविस तू तो કે હું દિલ્હી સમ કોઈ ત્રા માટે ગયો છું બીજું કાઈ શબ્દ ન બોલ્યો તમને દિલ્હી જવાનું શું કીધું તમને દિલ્હી કેદી ફોન આવ્યો તો છેલ્લે ક્યારે આવ્યો તો ભાઈ ફોન હમણાંથી કર્યો કે તું કેદી આવવાનો છો તો કે હું દિલ્હી ગયો દિલ્હી છું તો ઉજ્જૈન ગયો તો નહીં તો કે હું સકલા વાલા કુતરા માટે ગયો છું કે બીજું કાઈ ન બોલ્યો તો ફોન મૂકી દીધો।
A big political fight has also erupted over the attack. The BJP calls it a political conspiracy, while a AAP MLA has claimed the attack was orchestrated by the CM herself.
अभी जो पता लगा है कि वो व्यक्ति पीछे 24 घंटे से रेकी कर रहा था कि वो कैसे मुख्यमंत्री से मिले, वो उनके घर में शालीमार बाग तक भी पूरा वहाँ पे उसने रेकी किया कल। और आज सुबह जब वो आया तो उसके हाथ में कोई कागज पत्र नहीं था, कोई ऐसा मुद्दा नहीं था और उसने सीधा ही मिलते ही और हमला कर दिया। तो अभी कोई पॉलिटिकल कॉन्स्पिरेसी है या क्या मामला है ये अभी कहना ठीक नहीं है, क्योंकि पुलिस की जांच होगी, सारी तहकीकात के बाद में ही आपको बताया जाएगा।
सीएम पे अटैक नहीं हुआ है, उन्होंने खुद क्रिएट किया है, उनको मैं बहुत पुराना जानता हूँ। जब आंदोलन होता था सौंदर्य प्रसाधनों का तो ये जानबूझ करके एक आध बाल को माचिस से जला लेती थी जिससे कि लगे कि ये जल गई हूं मैं। ये नाटक करती है, शुरू से इनका ऐसे ही मामला है, इनका कोई हमला नहीं हुआ है। ये बस ये है कि खबरों में बनी रहे, कोई यमुना का सवाल ना पूछ ले, कोई पानी का सवाल ना पूछ ले, इसलिए ये ड्रामा है।
The attack on Rekha Gupta raises big questions. Are people attending the Jan Sabha not screened properly? What was the Chief Minister's security detail even doing? Bureau report for NDTV.
That man's mother says he was a dog lover who was angry with the Supreme Court order and what the Delhi Chief Minister was about to do. We don't know about that. But one man who's been taking on dog lovers, and he seems to be very angry about dog lovers amidst this polarizing fight over the stray dog problem in India, is filmmaker Gopal Varma, for all reasons. If you're not on social media, you probably have missed his daily rants against dog lovers. Well, he joined me a short while ago and I asked him some questions. And amidst this big national debate over the stray dog problem that India has, amidst the very polarizing fight over the Supreme Court's order to clear stray dogs and the many decisions that have been taken by courts in different parts of the country, it has sparked an angry sort of clash between those who want the stray dogs to be removed and animal lovers and dog lovers who believe that this is a terribly cruel decision that has taken place. In the middle of all of that, one person who has been going after dog lovers, who has been calling out hypocrisy or what he sees as their hypocrisy, is none other than one of India's best known filmmakers, Gopal Varma. If you go to his social media today, you will see post after post posting videos of dog attacks on children, dog attacks on people, and calling out what he says is the double standards of the animal lovers and the dog lovers. Ramu sir, good evening. Thank you very much for speaking to us here on NDTV. What is on your mind, sir? Why are you so angry with dog lovers?
See, the fundamental issue here is, there's no problem in anyone loving dogs or cats or any other animal for that matter. So here we're looking at an existing problem which you cannot, ignore. You cannot take your eyes away from that. So the dog lovers typically will be the people who are the rich, or at least have very secure homes and they're living and they can cuddle their dogs and whatever they want to. Nobody's saying no to that. We are talking about street dogs, which is a completely separate category. So where there's no one to control them and no one to take care. So now how to take care of them or whatever, that's a separate thing. But the urgency of the situation is what the poor people or people on the streets are working or going through. So many videos you see, and you already have the statistics of how many dogs are there, how much of rabies vaccine is being used. and how many bites hospitals are reporting. Taking all that evidence into consideration, the first thing as a human being, your responsibility to other human beings. I mean, only then something else will happen. Once you are secure as children, especially talking about children, because they're like short, they're small, and they will be easy prey for dogs. So to say that the dogs are hungry and may all dogs don't do, but the point is the overwhelming evidence, which is what I was tweeting about.
But you know, when one looks at your social media, Ramu sir, you will be accused of having an agenda. People will say you have some agenda against dog lovers. You are constantly attacking them personally. You are getting personal. That's what you will be accused of. That's what I'm saying.
That's okay. See, I mean, first of all, accusation has to have some kind of a validity. When I am, they should say about what I'm tweeting. They should say I'm talking about the truth. I'm putting videos of the dogs attacking children. So many videos. It's not like one or two or whatever I could lay my hands on, I did it. And instead of talking about that, how that can be sorted out and solved, just accusing me, how does that make a difference? How can that be valid? Yeah. So even if you see some of the videos where they were trying to protest against it, they're all having fun. They're having these domestic dogs which are well fed, and they're carrying and having music and all that. What is that a protest? Is that the way one will protest about from you feel about cruelty towards animals and all that? They're just having fun. Whereas the children are getting killed, they are not having fun. They're actually paying with their life.
Do you support the Supreme Court's order then, Ramu sir, where they've asked the Delhi government, they've given them 8 weeks to round up all street dogs and move them to shelters? There are many problems with that order. Many people see it as almost like a death sentence for those dogs because nobody can explain where those dogs will be placed. Do you support that kind of action?
See, the point is, I wouldn't know the logistics of how the orders can be implemented in terms of relocation. I think is a very easily used word. Where do you relocate them? Do you build shelters? And supposedly the population of dogs is about 7 to 8 crores right now, which I think is the estimate is way below the reality. How is it possible to do that? And what do you do? And you're putting all of them together. There's going to be some aspect of maybe the disease and who feeds them and what kind of money is required to run places like that. That is one chapter. And now the whole process of this sterilization, which is we've been hearing for the last so many years and maybe decades, that doesn't. But the point is, that's a long-term thing. What to do with the dogs, to relocate or whatever. But the short-term thing has to be addressed, which is the bites and the deaths and the rabies infections. See, like in any kind of a problem, you first have to take the decision on what is the problem. Just yesterday, I saw this one video of a girl in Hyderabad, little girl. She's talking about she's so scared to walk in, to go to school, and all these dogs are constantly watching. And how can parents keep a watch? Who's got the see? Poor people are not rich that they'll send a driver or a security guy or someone to do with that. So the dog lovers are talking about a separate aspect, and stray dogs are a completely separate aspect. When they are not in that situation where their children are not being left on the roads, how can they talk about the people who have no choice but to be in that situation? So the ground reality is what I was talking about. Yeah.
No, so because many of your social media posts, Ramu sir, are attacking the dog lovers because you say that they are hypocrites. They do not face the danger
that's
of
what I'm
those
saying.
dogs.
See, the
because
point is
they are
why
safely in their houses. They don't face the danger of these stray dogs that people who live on the streets, etc., actually face.
Correct.
That's something you've called out.
Correct. So the point is, who's supposed to take care of this aspect when it was supposed to be addressed? See, so many things the government is supposed to do, it doesn't do, and the gravity of what and once that is not taken care of is what I think the nearest, at least the Supreme Court said, relocate that. Maybe that is a solution. How practical it is, I don't know the nitty-gritties of that. How practically it can be done, Now, if then the next problem is immediately what is this? At least the exercise of it can be a short-term thing of removing them from harm's way, where the children are getting harmed, at least that much it will solve. So the second step will be what to do with dogs. To create shelters for them, to ask the dog lovers to adapt them. And maybe if they have one hybrid dog, maybe they can also take 10 stray dogs as a side, because the whole point is to cruelty towards animals. Why don't they do that? Why do they always want very hybrid dogs and not mongrels or street dogs? So the two are separate things is what they need to understand.
But do you accept
a dog which is secure and someone is taking care of obviously will not be in the same zone of what we are talking about. So when they are saying they love dogs, then they should go to that extent, no? I mean, they go to the other side also. Yeah.
But would you accept, Ramu sir, that this entire crisis, this crisis of this huge population of stray dogs, rabies, 5.7 million dog bites a year, it is a human-made problem. You know, because this has become a very polarized, bitter kind of fight between two sides over people who say that people like Ram Gopal Varma are dog haters. They hate dogs. That's why they are being like this.
Why would anybody hate dogs? I mean, see, just
because I was looking at some of the replies to some of your posts.
Why would anyone hate dogs? I don't understand. Why would anyone hate any animal for that matter? Only when it poses a threat to either you or your loved ones. See, you don't hate mosquitoes. Mosquitoes create disease. You don't hate coronavirus. It kills people. So, or anything for that matter. There's a man-eating tiger. You kill it because it is killing men. So the dogs are doing that, you know. So that is what that address should be about. It's not about why will I or anybody be a dog hater for I mean, the wildest statue.
Have you ever been bitten by a dog? You know, I was looking at the replies to many of your posts. Have you ever been threatened by stray dogs? Some people say रामू सर का कोई हिस्ट्री होगा इसलिए इतना नफरत आता है सोशल मीडिया पर. People say that there is a history here, you have an agenda.
See, that's the point. That's the point, you see. But I'm giving examples and I'm posting videos, I'm explaining the whole cause. And after that, they'll say, I've been bitten by a dog, and say, I've got a personal vendetta, मैं बदला लूंगा कुत्तों से, or some filmy dialogue like that. That's ridiculous. See, they have to answer the things and the questions I'm posing. That is how the debate should be. And they completely ignore that and they talk about me hating dogs. What kind of a logic is that? Yeah.
Okay, final question then. What would you say to, people who are attacking you right now? Those who are saying that Ram Gopal Varma calls us hypocrites, but we only want to save animals. I'm also an animal lover, I believe that. But they say that, someone as influential as you should not be, appear to be so anti-dog in your posts. What would you say to them? In a reasonable way. Sir, social media pe sab ladte hain. Social media mein people lose the meaning of what is being said. Sometimes, I'm sure you face that all the time. But as an influential person who people listen to, what would you say to them?
My point is, it is there for them to see. I am not claiming, I am not trying to put a conspiracy theory, I am not citing false figures. This is all figures from government agencies of hospitals. And there are videos, CCTV camera captured videos of dog attacks all over happening. How can you ignore that? That should be the main thing which should be discussed. It's not about the cruelty to animals. Yes, they might have like what you said just now, it can be a problem which is built all over. But how does just justify children being attacked and bitten and killed? So in any problem and you're tackling, common sense is that you have to tackle the immediate effect, which is to save the children or anybody being bitten by dogs. I think that is a priority number one. Anything else you should discuss only after that. It can't be before.
Yeah.
That's my point. Yeah.
Okay. Ramu sir, Ram Gopal Varma, thank you very much for your time. As always here on NDTV, we believe that it needs to be acknowledged that there is a problem. India is the rabies capital of the world.
That's it. You said
India
that right.
has by far the largest number of dog bites.
If they just say one line, children are not being killed, And if they say one line that dogs are not biting at such a large number and rabies infections, then I will shut up. Let them just say, one of them just say that. That's a lie.
Okay, I'm sure they will hear you, and I'm sure they will react to what you're saying to us here on NDTV, Ramu sir, but we'll leave it there for the moment. What I can say is that on NDTV, we believe and we want a humane solution. We want an acceptable solution that does not divide us so deeply, because this is, like I said, the numbers are scary, and this is something that needs, consensus and a national solution. It is going to make people angry, but we believe that this is humanity. This is not the fault of the dogs. This is, and I repeat once again, a problem that has been compounded because of omission and commission by humans. It's as simple as that. Gopal Varma, thanks as always.
Yeah, in that kind of a case, and whenever the next time the dog kills a child, you should go and blame humans. Which humans? That is just theory. It doesn't get in practice. Yeah.
Okay. We can go back and forth, but I hear you. Thank you very much, Ramu sir, for speaking to NDTV. Thank you.
Finesta Windows, beautiful and durable designs. Installation से मेंटेनेंस की लाइफ लॉन्ग कस्टमर सर्विस. आपके घर में फिनेस्टा नहीं है तो कॉल कीजिए.
Find Finer Finesta.
My birthday gift to पापा. ये उनके पापा की पहली गाड़ी एक गराज में पड़ी थी दार्जिलिंग में. फिर 3 मैकेनिक, पेंटिंग, पॉलिशिंग. जब इसे फाइनली घर लाया ना, तब लगा लाइफ में ग्रो किया है. बुलाओ.
SIP करो, इन्वेस्ट करो, लाइफ में ग्रो करो.
प्रतिभूति बाजार में निवेश बाजार जोखिमों के अधीन है. निवेश करने से पहले सभी संबंधित दस्तावेजों को ध्यान से पढ़ें.
Vanakkam Tamil Nadu.
Now the battle for Tamil Nadu 2026 is open now.
After Chief Minister Stalin rolls up his sleeves and Vijay steps in as a star challenger.
This is a mass gathering, not for cash.
Meanwhile, a former Chief Minister, Edapadi Palanisamy, begins his fight back.
The big comeback campaign by EPS has well and truly begun.
These are all the ultimate players, and this is going to be the ultimate test.
Rajasthan is history, culture, and much more. And I have been reporting on all things royal for more than 25 years.
The colors, the culture, and the complexities of the Northeast is different from the rest of the country. I have been bringing the Northeast closer to the capital for over 15 years. Madhya Pradesh is the heart of India, and I have been capturing its every beat for over 10 years, covering the corridors of power, what is said, what is left unsaid, and what it actually means for you and me. I have it all covered.
Kashmir is often called paradise on earth, a region that has been in a state of flux from conflict to India's crowning glory. I have been reporting and decoding Jammu and Kashmir for last 3 decades.
And you know, that's why it's being said that after Kahuna Pyare, this is the film that has got 2 superstar debutants who are becoming superstars. But what was this faith that you had on these two that you know that shows on screen?
You know, you don't plan to make a blockbuster. You plan to make a good film. And that's what I think they never let me, they didn't put that pressure on me to live up to. They never gave me a number that we have to hit or a so-called figure that I have to open to. There was all these trappings were just not there, which normally producers do end up putting that pressure. Then you make wrong things. Then you add a song for a shadi song, add a Punjabi song. All these trappings were not there in this film. They were like, just go there and make your film. Do this script. We love this script and make it honestly. And I think the minute that happened, a filmmaker I could just spread my wings and just go out, not worrying about a few. I think when you do that, you get a little more fearless, and then that's what got picked up by people. So we didn't I cast appropriate for the film. I didn't cast thinking. I cast what felt right.
You were saying that you are going to say no to him.
Yeah. But that's his fault. Huh? He was behaving. Now you see, now that we can talk about the film, Krish Kapoor cannot be a timid, sweet boy.
Yes,
yes, sir. How are you, sir?
Last time we spoke.
Yeah, and I was like, what is this guy? He was a sweet boy and all that. Then by the end of the night, I could see the boisterous self, and I could see the Krish Kapoor who could stand on top and say, "Don't forget this name. It's Krish Kapoor." So I think I was looking for that a bit. I needed.
Good evening and welcome to NDTV. This is The Last Word. I am Ankit Tyagi. Massive ruckus in the Parliament today. Some would call it unprecedented scenes where a bill which was being presented by the Home Minister torn to shreds, thrown at the Home Minister itself. It resulted in huge pandemonium, chaos and heated argument in the Parliament, especially in the Lok Sabha. Now, why is there so much action and reaction on this bill? What is this bill and what does it propose? The bill proposes that if a minister in a state or at the center, including the Prime Minister or the Chief Minister, is arrested and detained in custody for 30 days in a case carrying punishment which may extend to up to 5 years of imprisonment, he or she shall tender a resignation before the 31st day of arrest. Failing this, the minister would cease to hold office. Now, many are calling this a precursor. They are calling this what has, at least something that possibly the government picked up when Arvind Kejriwal refused to resign. Hemant Soren did the same. They went to prison and then, of course, made Hemant Soren had somebody else in place, Champai Soren as the Chief Minister, while Arvind Kejriwal refused to do so.